people in my life right now that are at different stages of pregnancy, and so I've gotten a lot of questions about things that I'd give advice on or things that I'd learned or whatnot. So today's vlog is all about things that I learned in pregnancy and then in labor. I want to share 4 things about pregnancy and then 6 things on labor. So first one is that people lose all sense of boundaries in both a physical sense and in what they talk to you about. Luckily, I didn't show till super late in my pregnancy, so I didn't get that like random strangers touching your belly and invading your private space. But it was really shocking to me how many strangers would talk to you about your plans for breastfeeding, or if you were going to have a natural birth, or they wanted to tell you all about their birth. It was just so strange and bizarre to me. I was not prepared on like how to handle those types of social situations, and I kind of wish I had been. I mentioned this in one of my pregnancy blog posts that the very first thing my doctor said, she's like, okay, you're not eating for 2. And that is such an old adage that I think everyone says and talks about, that it could have very easily sort of guided how I thought about nutrition. That led me into a lot of research and figuring it out. That's the sound of a cat toy. So the second part of that is that the baby takes all of its nutrition before I do. In the beginning, I was getting really nervous about like, okay, what did I eat before I knew I was pregnant? Or am I eating the right stuff? And what if I don't feel like eating today? Is that a problem? And I just realized in general, the baby's gonna take everything that it needs from me before I even get the nutrients, which is pretty crazy when you think of it. So this one sort of relates a little bit back to the personal boundaries. The unsolicited advice that everyone gives was really actually hard to deal with at some point. If somebody told me, oh, you're at this stage, oh, you're totally gonna feel this in a week. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what's gonna happen to you next, and this is how it's gonna be. Aren't you feeling this way? And oh, I bet you're here. It was alarming because it made me second guess myself and my own pregnancy. And you know, everyone's different, everybody's body is different, every baby is gonna be different. When I wasn't feeling what I was supposed to feel according to that person, I felt like, okay, is there something wrong with me? It was just, that to me was really hard to deal with, even more so than like awkward stories, because those you can kind of just brush off. So one thing I've told a couple of other pregnant ladies that in my life that have said, you know, I'm pregnant and you just went through this, so it's really exciting. I told them, listen, I can be an open book if you want to ask me a direct question, but sort of my go forth rule, I'm not going to give advice about somebody's pregnancy or input unless it's asked of me, because I don't want to taint them or make it seem as though, you know, my experience has to be their experience. It really doesn't. Okay, the 4th and final one that I learned about pregnancy is that no side effect is unusual. This was so hard for me to learn. I would go to my doctor every month, and then 2 weeks, and then week, with a list on my phone of like, okay, this was new, this was weird, what in the world is this? And she'd just kind of be like, yeah, no, that's normal. And it would just, to me, it's monumental. It was my first pregnancy. It was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, this happened, I had this weird feeling or this like tightening. The doctor would just be like, yep, totally normal. Like nothing fazed her whatsoever, which is, I mean, good. I don't want to faze my doctor. To just not have the realization that like, okay, absolutely everything weird and things that I think are strange, she's just gonna say, totally normal, you're fine. On one side it was a relief, on the other side it was like, oh my gosh, there's just so much that goes on with your body that's bizarre and weird and somehow connected. And for every good side effect that somebody tells you, like your hair is gonna get so strong and you're gonna have a glow, it's like, oh, but your hair could also get really dry and brittle and your skin could change and your complexion could get worse. Okay, for every 50 there's another 50% of what could happen. This one, I'm a planner, that's for sure. I'm kind of that like type A personality, but when it comes to labor, I gotta say, birth plans are moderately useless. Unless you have like a scheduled C-section. What I've learned from myself and from my friends around me is that you can have a birth plan, and if that helps you just to sort of gauge the day and what it might be like and how you generally want to approach it, totally healthy. Eric and I definitely talked through things we did or didn't want to do just overall. I would say that if you have this super set, like it needs to go this way and this is what's going to happen and only this, you're going to stress yourself out way more than is even necessary in that moment. Have a plan, have general ideas of what you want to do, but then just be flexible with your own body, with the baby, with the doctors. Let them know what you ultimately want, but at the end of the day, it's a healthy you and a healthy baby, and however that has to happen in the moment is just let it be. So I had a friend who gave birth, 12 days before me, and I remember visiting her in the hospital, and one of the things she said to me right away was like, just forget about modesty. Don't even worry about it. She's like, the first few minutes she was in the hospital, you're kind of like, okay, this doctor's checking me, but I'll keep my garment here. By the third hour in a hospital, you're like, you know what? Everybody's seeing everything. Just go in with the expectation of that, and then you won't be surprised or taken aback. People just walk in the room, like a little knock walk in, and you're trying to feed, and you look disgusting, and you haven't showered. It's just like, all right, I'm sure that whatever I'm showing them, they've seen a heck of a lot worse. Our birth instructor from like the one class that we went to at the hospital, she had a couple kids herself, and one of the things she said to us is, yes, ladies, it's pain. It's pain, but it's pain unlike any other you felt, and it comes with a purpose. So I was absolutely terrified of labor. I didn't love pregnancy, but I was so petrified. I broke down probably 3 different times during pregnancy, twice more toward the end of just like, Eric, I can't do this. I don't think I can make it through. How do I know? You've never done this. Nobody can tell you what it feels like. You're not gonna know until you're in it. I just can't do this. And then when I got there, yeah, it hurts. I mean, there's no way around that. Anybody that tells you it doesn't hurt, probably lying to you, and it's not gonna be very helpful. Then again, when it finally came time to push, I felt like, okay, I have a purpose. I finally have a reason for this pain. I'd had Braxton Hicks and other contractions towards the end of the pregnancy that were just annoying. They were a little bit painful. I was like, oh, this is frustrating. But then when it was real contractions and it was that time, like, okay, you were in labor, you were going to the hospital, I knew what was on the other side, even though I'd never met him. It still felt like, okay, I'm here now. This has an end point. Up until then, it didn't really feel like pregnancy even had an end point. You just kind of kept getting bigger and having weirder pains and more tired again. That was a really good turning point for me and helped me feel, okay, I can own this pain, for lack of a better word. I'm having this pain. It's getting worse, but that means I'm getting closer and closer to this baby on the other side. This is a little bit minorly more graphic. There's something called the uterine massage. Massage is a very loose term, let me tell you. This I did not know was really coming. Maybe somebody had mentioned it in the birthing class at some random point, but I'm not entirely sure about that. So you deliver the baby, you deliver the placenta, no big deal. The baby's the big deal, the placenta's not the big deal. And then the nurse comes in, you have the baby on your chest, and it's all wonderful and lovely, and then they say, okay, we're gonna give you a uterine massage just to make sure, any blood clots get out. Oh my goodness. I wish that I had had the knowledge. That's the neighbor's dog. I wish that I had had the knowledge that was going to happen, because I would have wanted to prepare for that level of pain, and I kind of just freaked out when the nurse did it. It would have helped me to know that was coming. Be like, okay, pain's not 100% over. I have one more thing coming, and then I'll get better after that. Okay, we're at number 9. This I did not hear about. The human body is amazing. This is incredible. God has orchestrated it in such unbelievable ways. When you breastfeed for like the first week or so, you get contractions again, because your uterus is having to shrink down to its original size, and that's how it does it. The feeding stimulates hormones that make it contract. That still is rather painful. I remember when the nurses came in afterwards and I was trying to feed him for the first couple times, it was like, okay, why am I in so much pain right now? Like, why is it not just pain up here, which, okay, yes, that hurts too, but oh my gosh, why is the rest of my body in pain? It doesn't last long. That lasted for me a few days, maybe up to a week of feeling it again. The realization that your body's incredible, it's doing what it has to do. So that's, again, a helpful pain. Also, you get really, really thirsty when you're breastfeeding. Even now, like the second I'm starting to feed him, I'm searching for my water or my drink or something, like, Eric, please get it for me. Okay, number 10, because some of these have been graphic and unfortunate and not all happy, I want to leave on a very happy note. I never could have envisioned how amazing it was to go through the birth and delivery process with Eric. It brought us like 10 years closer in our marriage, it seemed. He was able to witness my strength and resolve, I mean physical strength and resolve to get this baby out and be a warrior. And then I was able to witness his complementary strength for me of how incredible it was to have him there and supporting me and breathing with me. After 2 days together, we, leaving the hospital, just said, you know, this has been some of the most incredible time that we've had as a couple. We've seen a lot with each other, but to be able to go through this was magnificent. Embrace it as much as you can. There's a lot that's crazy about it and nuts and a roller coaster, and again, like I said, painful. I think it's painful for the husband to probably watch his wife go through that too, but to really look at that as a time to be together and to, for the very first time, be a family of more than just you two. So there it is, the 4 things I learned about pregnancy. There are likely more, but hey, pregnancy and mom brain is a real thing, so I don't remember them. And then those are the 6 things that I learned about labor and delivery and what I wished somebody else had maybe told me. I'm so glad that you tuned in, and we'll keep coming with these vlogs. That's the cat toy.